to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now then, whenever we last left off, I do believe that Deku and Katsuki, they were around 11 years old, I believe. So, let us cut to around the beginning of the anime, the last day of middle school. In all these years, Deku and her have been doing this training intensely. They've been making sure to keep up on it. They usually do this really intense training where Deku would walk into the ocean and turn on his fire. Basically, somewhat heating up the area around him and making the water hot enough to actually hurt his skin a bit. Basically, he's trying to build heat tolerance. While Katsuki, she's trying to improve on how much she can sweat at one time. Basically, so that her explosions, she can produce more of them, along with creating bigger and bigger explosions. Now, let's begin. The teacher, he is talking about how they need to start thinking about what they're going to do whenever they're adults, they need to think about their futures, all that. Then he would just toss the papers up into the air, saying that he's just kidding. He knows quite a lot of them want to be heroes. So, I am happy to announce that we have two prodigies going to take the UA entrance exam. Next year, we have Bakugo, Katsuki, and Izuku Midoriya, as everyone would stare at these two. These two are actually sitting next to each other as they would just hold their hands up and giving each other high fives. As they would just say, "You bet your ass we're going to get an UA." Besides, our quirks are stronger than everyone's, and we've been training intensely. As everyone would just, stare at them. They're right, but, UA is a pretty big deal. That school has a 0.2 acceptance rate for everyone who tries to get in. So do they really think they're going to do that? As Deku would just proudly say, "Yes, we are. If anyone's going to get in, it's going to be me and her. Besides, we train intensely every day." Even then, as Deku would give a speech, saying that he bets his ass even if he was quirkless he could be a hero. Nothing could stop him. Now, school would be out for the day. Deku and her actually leaving. Now, instead of walking home, they actually do want to go see some designs and actually look about things for their hero costumes. So they're heading to the mall area. With that being said, this is where they would eventually encounter the sludge villain. The sludge villain, after, escaping All Might and going into the sewers, it attacks someone else, someone random, at that intersection sidewalk. Now, after it attacked them, All Might came, blew it away, gave that kid an autograph probably, and left. However, whenever he did jump away, he dropped the bottle. So it would still end up here. Probably getting crushed under a tire or something, just something with enough force to pop it open. I'm not really sure how it got popped open. All I know is Bakugo kicked it or something. I know it has something to do with Bakugo. Anyways, after that happened, these two are here, as there is a bit of an incident. Deku, he would get attacked this time. He is actually somewhat confused, as he tries to turn on his quirk. Before he can even react, Katsuki, she comes blasting in, as she tries to throw an explosion. People begin to watch as Deku's left arm is completely engulfed in fire, And Deku actually does turn up the heat quite a lot. As Katsuki, she would see this, trying to get away and actually push away, the sludge villain grabbing her by the legs. He's a bit confused as to why she's retreating now. Is she scared of fire or something? As he would have pulled these two too close to one another. Which is whenever the sludge villain would realize exactly why. A large explosion, basically engulfing most of the area. Deku and Katsuki being sent flying. All Might would have arrived and see these two. These two are greatly injured, and well, from what he's heard, one of them has a fire quirk. The other one has an explosive quirk. Now, All Might is actually quite interested in this. But if those two cause that much collateral damage just by fighting the villain, then that's a bit tricky. Now, All Might, he would have ran in, picking these two up and saying that he'll take them to the hospital, as he would jump off, straight away. He did somewhat have time left, but he's actually starting to push himself more. As Deku, he would somewhat shake off this concussion. He opens his eyes to see that he's flying through the air. Thinking this is a dream for a second, he would start looking around. He would see Katsuki in, well, next to him, as he'd look up, seeing All Might, as his eyes would widen. He would scream out All Might as All Might almost dropped him, not expecting the kid to wake up. As All Might goes to land, he would land onto a rooftop and immediately let go of these two. As Katsuki, she is still somewhat passed out. As Deku begins to talk with All Might, he would begin to ask him questions about what happened and how this all happened. All Might telling him that he needs to explain what happened with the villain first. This is going to be a bit troublesome, young man. But from what I heard, you two caused quite a lot of damage. Do you mind explaining yourselves? Well, it's just, I was attacked and I tried to use my quirk against it. Your quirk? Yeah, that's just it though. That's my friend. Her quirk is, well, it's like if you were to mix fire and gasoline. What? That's how our quirks react to each other. She can produce sweat out of her body that she can ignite with an explosion, well, turning it into an explosion. I can create, as Deku would light his hand up, blue, saying that this is his quirk. Fire. Although, I believe Endeavor gave me a different name for it. It's similar to his son's quirk. Endeavor? Hold on, young man, you've met Endeavor? Well, yeah. It was a bit of an odd day, but Endeavor said that this is Cremation. That's the name he gave his son's quirk. Now, All Might, he would be a bit intrigued. Clearly, the sludge villain, it messed up. So, this young man did not mean to cause all that damage. It's just that the two were too close to each other when it happened. Deku giving the full explanation. As All Might would buff down. Deku somewhat being in shock. He would go to ignite his hands for a second, but All Might would just calm him down, saying that that is not the proper way to do it. Listen, I appreciate your help and, well, honesty with me, along with jumping in. If you were probably not attacked, it would have been someone else, and this would probably be a whole different problem. Now, that is over Deku. He would begin to ask All Might a question, asking him if, well, his quirk is a villain's quirk or not. He's had multiple ideas about it, but he just wants an opinion. I know Endeavor can be a hero with his quirk, but what about mine? Mine's similar to his, or well, I think I'm stronger than him sometimes. But I know that's not true, right? Deku just looking up. All Might telling him that any quirk can be a heroic one. Even your friends here. As Deku would somewhat smile, saying thank you. As he would go to get Katsuki. She is still passed out. That's strange. But he would do one thing, picking her up and putting her on his back. Saying, thank you, All Might, but I can just take it from here then. I can get her home or to the hospital. If I'm okay, then she'll be okay. We usually train a lot. Train? So, young man, are you gonna go to UA? Well, yes, actually. We're both planning on going to try and get into Class 1A. Or, well, at least into the school, at least. Interesting. So, do you need help with your quirk? I mean, yeah, I think so. I've been trying to train it more and more, but I noticed that my heat, I still can't bring it up to, well, certain points. Otherwise, it starts to burn my skin. Really? Well then, I do suggest proper training then. How about this? I can help you train for UA. But, hmm, but what All Might? Do you want to use your power to get into UA, or would you accept someone else's? I know a way that can help you, but the kid's quirk, fire. Clearly it's good and useful. He knows how dangerous it is, and he doesn't like causing collateral damage, so he'll be a good hero, right? But let's see. I still have that young candidate Sir Night gave me. So what should I do? If I pick this boy, he can get into UA and things will be a little less suspicious. Although his quirk... Crap. If his quirk would be enhanced by mine... Hmm. Let's see. If one for all increases his power, then how will this work? His power can be more stable, possibly. And the durability increase. That should help him more. Perfect. But what about that other boy? What was his quirk? Now, as All Might is thinking this, Deku would just grab All Might's attention, snapping him out of it, asking him why he hasn't really been saying anything. He's just been sort of there. To which All Might would just bring his hands up, saying that he's just been trying to think about this. I will help you. Train your quirk. And possibly even if I need to, give you more power. Okay, now you're just throwing things out there, aren't you? No, I really can't help you. Alright. Well, if that's the case, then where are we going to meet tomorrow? Yes, well, there is a beach nearby that's dirty. I've already been cleaning it. What? Me and Katsuki have been cleaning that beach for a while. We only keep rubble there so it just, well, doesn't get anyone's attention. If the beach is still dirty, people don't want to go there. Besides, we don't really want people getting in the way of our training. We've cleaned up most of it so we have space, but other than that, it's still dirty. If we're gonna finish cleaning it, then we could just do it in a couple days. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, but you need to increase physical training then. Alright. Well, me and her also do physical training then too. So, I guess we can start training harder tomorrow. Alrighty then. Bring your friend with you, if you wouldn't mind. I am interested to see what her quirk can do. Alright, All Might. Now, this is whenever Deku began to walk downstairs, as he starts back on the path to walking home. Now, with that being said, as Deku, he is walking on the street, eventually Katsuki, she would wake up, a bit confused and somewhat a bit frightened for a second. She remembers the sludge villain, then a loud explosion. And she's finally come to. Basically jumping off of Deku's back, telling him that that was crazy, right? What happened after that? Well, All Might came in, saved us, tried taking us to a hospital, and, well, after that, I got a little thing for you. Him holding up a piece of paper, saying, "Here, All Might sign this for you." What? Her just grabbing it out of his hands. Deku would then say that All Might also wants us to meet us at the beach tomorrow. He wants to train us, for UA. You're serious, aren't you? Yup. Apparently we're both impressive to him. So, we should start working harder if he's gonna train us. The dude's intense, you know that, right? Obviously. Now, the two would eventually get home and explain what happened to their moms. As eventually, they would have to go meet All Might. Katsuki, she is basically freaking out. She's talking with the number one hero and her idol. But she still does want to beat him. So she would get to work with training with All Might. Deku doing the same thing. Them doing more and more physical training, not using their quirks for this. As All Might would watch these two sometimes spar off against one another. And how their fights usually end. The two bruised and somewhat beaten, but they always fight against one another. They seem to be inseparable sometimes, since they usually do butt heads and actually fight a lot. But they do get along. This is odd. Her quirk is explosions. Neat and actually interesting. Alright. Well, if this will help them get physically stronger, then I guess I can pick one of these two. All Might then standing up, as he would call these two over from their fight, telling them that he has a, well, situation. There are two of you, and I have a proposition. You two are going to be training. Whichever one of you can win against the other one, I will give power to. Its name is One for All. Well, no turning back now. One for All. This power, it has been passed down from generations to generations. Once the quirk was thought to be useless, until it suddenly just bursted out forth. The first time it was passed down, it was intense. So, do you understand? This will also enhance both of your quirks, meaning that you both have a chance to become far stronger than the other. Now, hearing this, these two would be in shock. If they can just get that little push over the other, that means they can surpass each other, which would drive them to do so. As Katsuki would immediately take off running and get to work on training. Deku's somewhat, well, doing the same. As he just basically starts doing push-ups, sit-ups, and running more. All Might seeing these two do this throughout the day. Now, since there are two of them and they are cleaning a significantly less trash on the beach, I do want to say that it would only take them 3 months to do so. Now then, with that being said, it will come to their final battle. All Might thinking that this has been enough time. So, you two must fight and prove to each other exactly who will get the power. Now, I understand that this is troubling to you two, but this will be how it works. The loser will just have to make up with their own strength. I know that that sounds bad, but it'll at least push you further. A hero will always push themselves more and more and more. I do hope you two understand, and stay friends after this. Now, Katsuki, she would just stare down at Deku. If she can beat Deku, then she'll have a power enough to beat All Might, right? She can surpass him and become the number 1 hero. As Deku would stare at her. If he can beat her, then that means that he'll get All Might's power. And Endeavor already saw potential in him, so that means that he'll just get stronger. My quirk will stabilize outright. Let's hope so. As these two would face off, getting ready for this battle. Now, sorry to leave you guys on a cliffhanger, but I do need to shower and go to work. And, well, this is going to be a bit troublesome, because I could see the fight going either way.